I stood frozen at gate C-27, watching a woman in a leopard print blazer rip my 6-year-old son's dialysis backpack off the stroller like she'd just busted a shoplifter. My little boy, pale, weak, shaking from low blood pressure, started crying the second she unzipped it and dumped his sterile catheters and peritoneal dialysis fluid bag straight onto the filthy airport carpet. She shrieked biohazard so loud the entire terminal went dead silent, then jabbed her finger at me like I was trafficking drugs while my barely conscious child clung to my leg. I swear something inside my chest cracked in that moment. But what happened next at that gate ended with security dragging her away, screaming while they rolled out the red carpet for us. And I need to tell you exactly how it unfolded, because no one would believe the stunt this entitled HOA monster tried to pull in front of nearly 200 strangers. My son, Jaden, has been on dialysis since he was 3 years old. We were flying back to Houston after a follow-up appointment at Children's Hospital in Denver. He's small for his age, big brown eyes, always wearing his little Spider-Man mask because his immune system is practically non-existent. That morning, he was already running a fever, so I had his emergency peritoneal dialysis kit packed in a clear medical bag clipped securely to the stroller. Bright red medical equipment. Do not touch tags hung from every zipper. We were sitting quietly at the gate, and I was trying to get him to sip water when this woman suddenly stormed over. Blonde bob haircut, sunglasses perched on her head, even though we were indoors. A Louis Vuitton carry-on rolling behind her like a battering ram. I barely noticed her until she lifted her phone and started filming us. "Excuse me," she snapped, her voice shrill like a smoke alarm. "Those bags are leaking all over the seating area. That's a health code violation." I looked down. Nothing was leaking. Everything was sealed, double-bagged, clearly labeled. I said calmly, "Ma'am, that's my son's dialysis fluid. It's sterile medical equipment." She didn't even look at Jaden, just kept recording. I'm the vice president of the Lakes of Fairhaven HOA in Houston. I know unsanitary conditions when I see them. You can't bring hazardous medical waste onto an airplane. By now, people were staring. Jaden's lips started trembling. I forced myself to stay calm. It's prescribed by his doctor. TSA already cleared it. That's when she completely lost it. She marched to the gate agent, still filming, yelling that there was a bioterrorism threat at gate C-27. The agent looked stunned and reached for the phone. But before anyone could intervene, Karen spun around, stomped back, and yanked the entire backpack off the stroller. Time slowed. I watched his night bag, catheters, alcohol wipes, everything spill across the carpet. Jaden screamed. I dropped to my knees, trying desperately to gather the supplies before they were contaminated. But she kicked them away with her heel, yelling, "This is a public health emergency." A man nearby muttered, "Lady, that's a sick kid." She whipped around on him. "Stay out of it, or I'll have you removed too." My hands were shaking as I scooped what I could into my shirt, knowing my hands weren't sterile anymore, when 2 airport police officers and a TSA supervisor rushed over. Karen instantly flipped the switch and started fake crying. "Officers, this man is trying to bore with infectious waste. I'm protecting everyone." Jaden was sobbing into my neck, burning up, whispering, "Daddy, I don't feel good. I'm going to be sick." I was second from completely losing control when the TSA supervisor knelt down, saw the spilled catheters, the prescription labels, the children's hospital paperwork sticking out of my pocket, and her entire expression changed. She looked at Karen like she'd stepped in something foul. "Ma'am, step away from the medical equipment. Now." Karen scoffed. "Do you know who I am? I'm calling corporate." The supervisor ignored her, waved over a wheelchair and a medic, then turned to me with the gentlest voice I'd heard all day. "Sir, we're taking you and your son to the medical priority lane immediately. I am so sorry this happened." I was still on the floor, cradling Jaden, when an officer grabbed Karen's arm. "Ma'am, you're coming with us. Tampering with life-saving medical equipment is a federal offense." She started shrieking about being assaulted by the deep state, trying to live stream everything, but they confiscated her phone, cuffed her, and marched her away as the entire gate broke into applause. And that was only the beginning. They escorted us through a side door most passengers don't even know exists, straight into a private medical screening room, where nurses helped sterilize what could be saved and gave Jaden fluids while we waited for the next flight. Karen didn't make her flight, or the next 3. But what security told me while we waited made my blood turn to ice. A medic wheeled Jaden and me into a quiet room behind security. It smelled like antiseptic and burnt coffee. A nurse in purple scrubs checked his vitals and whispered, "His pressure is dropping. We need fluids now." I was rocking my crying little boy when the door slammed open and the same TSA supervisor walked in, clipboard in hand, fury written across her face. She locked the door, looked me straight in the eye, and said, "Sir, that woman is still screaming your names and holding. We ran her ID, and you're not going to believe why she targeted your son." My stomach dropped. She sat across from me, Cynthia Whitmore, Vice President of Lakes of Fairhaven HOA in Katy, Texas. I almost laughed. Of course, 6 months earlier, she'd sent me a certified letter threatening to fine me $500 a day because Jaden's dialysis machine hummed at night. I'd submitted ADA accommodation paperwork and assumed it was over. It wasn't. The supervisor leaned closer. She told officers this was payback, said your medical equipment lowers property values and that you've gotten special treatment long enough. She recognized you the moment you sat at the gate. The room spun. This wasn't random. She planned it. She waited, then weaponized an entire airport against a dying child to settle an HOA grudge. As the nurse started enfolding Jaden's tiny arm, the supervisor continued. We pulled CCTV. She filmed you from the Starbucks line 20 minutes before approaching. She's been posting in your neighborhood Facebook group, claiming you're faking his illness for sympathy and free flights. Then she dropped the bomb. We searched her carry-on. In the false bottom of her Louis Vuitton, copies of your son's entire medical file, diagnosis, dialysis schedule, even a nephrologist's letter. She printed it from the HOA portal. My hands went numb. She'd been stalking us for months. The radio crackled. Karen was threatening to sue United for anti-HOA discrimination while live streaming from detention. I looked at Jaden, finally calming as the fluids worked, and something inside me went cold. How long do I have to press charges? I asked. Across state lines. Then she leaned even closer and whispered, "But here's the part she doesn't know yet. The airline just upgraded you to first class on the next flight. Free. Lifetime global lounge access for your entire family. And she's permanently banned from every United flight." Corporate was furious. My head was spinning when the door opened again. This time, an airport manager in a suit stepped in, gripping an iPad like it weighed 100 pounds. "Sir, we have a serious issue." She's refusing to surrender her phone, claiming attorney-client privilege, but she's still live streaming. Your names, your son's full name, his diagnosis, everything is already online. Over 40,000 people are watching. He turned the screen toward me. There was Cynthia, mascara-streaked, glaring into the camera. This family has been terrorizing our neighborhood with fake disabilities. I'm the real victim. The live chat was pure venom. People calling my son a prop, calling me a scam artist. Death threats already pouring in. The manager swallowed hard. "We can shut the stream down, but we need your consent to release the body cam footage of her dumping your son's dialysis supplies. If we counterpost, this ends tonight. If we don't, she controls the narrative, and your family could be in danger when you get home." Jaden shifted in my arms, looked up with those enormous eyes, and whispered, "Daddy, is the mean lady going to jail?" I kissed his forehead, looked straight at the manager, and said words I never imagined saying. "Do it. Release everything." The moment he left, the supervisor's radio erupted again, this time edged with panic. She just tried to destroy evidence. Smash your phone against the wall. Screens cracked, but we recovered the SD card. And you are not going to believe what's on it. My heart slammed into my throat. "Thousands of photos," she said. "Your house. Your cars. Jaden playing in the yard. Taken from across the street. For months." That's when it hit me. This wasn't an airport tantrum. This was only the opening move of something far darker. Less than 5 minutes later, the airport manager rushed back in, face drained of color. He didn't speak. He simply turned the iPad toward me. The live stream count that had been 42,000 was now at 1.8 million, and climbing fast. Cynthia wasn't screaming anymore. She was frozen, mouth hanging open, staring at the detention room TV as officers plugged something in. It was her own SD card. The body cam footage United had just released was devastating. 30 seconds of her ripping open Jaden's dialysis bag, kicking catheters across the floor, screaming about fake disabilities while my 6-year-old sobbed. But the real nuclear strike came next. An FBI tech pulled a folder from her shattered phone in real time. 4,137 photos, 68 videos, a 127-page document titled Fairhaven Fraud Expose. Every image was us, Jaden on his swing, me carrying groceries, my wife kissing him goodnight through the window, night vision timestamps, some shot from inside bushes across the street. The final video made my stomach turn. Cynthia, same leopard blazer, sitting in her Mercedes at 2 a.m. outside our house, whispering, "If the HOA won't stop them, I will. Tonight, I cut the power to the outside dialysis drain line. Let's see how tough the little liar is when he swells up." I nearly vomited. She hadn't just stalked us. She had already tried to kill my son once and was planning a second attempt the moment we got home. Within minutes, #AirportKaren and #DialysisMoments were trending worldwide. The HOA Facebook group she ran vanished in a panic, but screenshots flooded everywhere. Someone dug up her original noise complaint post with photos of Jaden's medical waste bin, calling it disgusting hoarding. Then another bomb dropped. Cynthia Whitmore wasn't even elected vice president. She bullied the real VP into quitting and installed herself. The board had been trying to remove her for a year. Then came the twist that shattered what was left of her life. A verified account with 3 million followers, at Medflix Official, the biggest medical drama channel on YouTube, posted a 30-second clip. It showed Cynthia in 2021. Same blonde bob, same sunglasses, sobbing in a hospital gown. After years of infertility, we finally adopted the perfect baby boy. He was born with kidney failure. I can't lose him. The caption read, "Throwback to when Cynthia Whitmore raised $87,000 for her son's transplant, except the child wasn't hers, and the GoFundMe was shut down for fraud." The internet exploded. Side-by-side edits flooded feeds. Past fake tears versus today's airport meltdown. Same script, same performance. I'm just protecting the community. Investigators confirmed it. Cynthia and her husband had once faked a sick child, pocketed the money, then fled to Houston to reinvent themselves in lakes of Fairhaven. United Airlines released a statement at 11:47 p.m. Cynthia Whitmore is permanently banned from all partner airlines worldwide. The case has been referred to the U.S. Attorney for immediate prosecution. By sunrise, the FBI had a warrant. In her garage, they found the cut dialysis drain line, gloves still wet, and a printed boarding pass for our exact flight. She'd booked the seat directly behind us, planning to finish the job midair if security hadn't intervened. That night, the HOA emergency meeting was live-streamed by a neighbor. 192 homes voted unanimously. Cynthia Whitmore was removed from the board, banned from a neighborhood for life, and ordered to refund every dollar she'd ever collected in fines. Over $240,000, with the largest check issued to us for Jaden's future care. Last I heard, she's out on bail, wearing an ankle monitor thicker than her ego. Her Louis Vuitton was auctioned for charity. Someone paid $25,000 just to burn it on TikTok Live. Jaden and I flew home in first-class pods. Flight attendants crying, the captain coming back to hug him. The gate was lined with passengers holding signs. "We stand with Jaden." A little girl in a Spider-Man mask handed him a brand-new dialysis backpack, covered in superhero patches. He looked up at me in the jet bridge and asked, "Daddy, does this mean the mean lady can't hurt me anymore?" I knelt, kissed his forehead, and told him the truth. She never could, buddy. The whole world just chose you. Somewhere over Texas, 30,000 feet in the air, I finally let myself cry. Some Karens think they run the world. Turns out, the world only lets them think that until a sick 6-year-old needs it more.